We got a problem.
There was more drama in San Antonio last season than it was for the last 20 years. Kawhi Leonard was supposed to be the guy who was going to take the torch passed by Tim Duncan and lead the Spurs into the next generation. But as we sit here today, Kawhi is no longer a San Antonio Spur, as he was traded this past offseason after months of speculation of him wanting to play elsewhere. This will be the first time that Gregg Popovich will not have either Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, or Tony Parker on the roster since 1997. Future Hall of Famers Parker and Ginobili will no longer be a San Antonio Spur. It was a good run for these guys, as they will be looked at as two of the greatest players in franchise history. Parker signed a 2-year deal with the Hornets, and Ginobili decided to retire from the NBA after 16 years. It was certainly a joy to watch both players, especially Ginobili. He was one of the main players that made the Euro step so prevalent in today's NBA. The Spurs will definitely look different without Kawhi, Tony, or Manu on the team next year. But if it's any team that can continue to stay relevant, it's the Spurs. This team did win 47 games last year without their best player. And you add a player like DeMar DeRozan to the squad, and you might have a 50-win team. I believe DeRozan needed a change. As much as he loved Toronto, it was best for both sides to move on. Even though he hasn't been the best defensive player, he has been an amazing offensive player in the last 2 years. And DeRozan said he'll be playing with the biggest chip on his shoulder ever this upcoming season. The 29-year-old will be joining one of the most successful organizations in sports, and he also gets to be coached by one of the best in the business, Gregg Popovich. Maybe DeRozan could be in the running for league MVP next season. LaMarcus Aldridge had a bounce-back All-Star year last season. After wanting to be traded in the summer of 2017, Aldridge and Popovich talked it out, and he ended up signing an extension, which shocked a lot of people around the league. Aldridge carried the load with Kawhi Leonard being out for most of the season and ended up being selected to the All-NBA second team. With DeRozan on the team now, I don't expect for Aldridge to get the same shot attempts and opportunities as he did last season, but I still expect him to be an all-star level player. There are 3 young guys on the team who have a lot of potential and could help the Spurs compete for a top 3 seed for the next couple of years. Those players are DeJounte Murray, rookie Lonnie Walker, and Jakob Poeltl. I believe Murray is due for a breakout season. He has the skill set and athleticism to be a two-way player in this league. He had his ups and downs last season, but he still has so much room for improvement going forward. The one thing that stuck out last year was his defense. His first accolade in his NBA career was being named to the All-Defensive Second Team and became the youngest player in NBA history to be named on the All-Defensive Team, breaking Kobe Bryant's mark in 2000. That's big time. For a 21-year-old to play great defense is remarkable. If he can ever put it all together on offense, he could be an all-star. Lonnie Walker was one of my favorite players in this year's draft, and the Spurs drafted him with the 18th pick. He was one of the most explosive guards in the draft and has the skill set to be a good scorer in this league. One position that is stacked on this team is the 2-guard position. The Spurs also have Marco Bellinelli, Brian Forbes, Derek White, and Brandon Paul. I believe Lonnie Walker should get a lot of playing time in this rookie year, but it might not happen. With Tony Parker playing backup point guard for the most part last year, Popovich was able to play Patty Mills in the starting lineup as he brought valuable outside shooting. But with Parker no longer with the team, Mills and Murray are the only 2 point guards on the team. I think there's a chance that Pop could move Mills back to the bench and insert one of the 2 guards in the starting lineup. Including big man Jakob Poeltl in the Kawhi DeRozan trade was big time. Poeltl has a chance to flourish in San Antonio. With Pau Gasol on the back end of his career, it's not crazy to believe that Poeltl could be the starting center going forward. He played more minutes in his second year as he was efficient on offense and was a solid rim protector. He mostly gets his points around the basket through cuts and being a roll man after setting screens. Poeltl is due for another increase in his stats going into his 3rd season. The Spurs' 2017 first-round pick Derek White looks to be ready to contribute after playing in the G League, where he was part of the Austin Toros, who won the G League championship this year. White not only showed his versatility in the G League, but also in this year's Summer League. He showed he could be a hell of a scorer and showed he could be a playmaker too. The Spurs could try him at the point guard position this season. I believe Popovich will find a way to get Lonnie Walker and Derek White on the court this season. They also re-signed Rudy Gay and Davis Bertans this offseason. The Spurs still have an impressive squad. Even after Kawhi Leonard's departure, Greg Popovich has the team to compete for home court advantage in the first round.